Google was just slapped with a $5 billion fine from the EU. And I'm calling it right now. This is going to change Android forever.
Get daily tech news in a way that doesn't suck. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Front Page Tech. Of course, the show that gives you all the latest tech news from one geek. That is me to another. That is you. Happy Wednesday, our favorite day of the week. It is Hump Day, the only day of the week where it's completely legal to hump anyone you want. I promise. And if you do hump somebody and somebody presses charges and you get arrested, just refer the police to this video. They'll let you go. I think that's how that works. News. Okay, story numero uno. Let's talk Samsung. As you know, next month they have an event. They're announcing the new Galaxy Note 9, which we know everything about already, but also a couple more surprises apparently. But are they really surprises if I tell you what they're going to be? So the event itself is going to be on August 9th. You know that already. But the Unpacked event is not just for the Galaxy Note 9. No. It seems they're also going to announce a brand new Galaxy Watch. Now, even though the event is on August 9th, it's reported that the actual phone will be available on August 24th, and this watch is going to launch with it. So you'll be able to get both of those things on the same day. Also at that event, though, we could be looking at another hardware launch, a Samsung smart speaker. Now, we told you this was in the works too. I just hoped that they would scrap it and that it would never come true. But no. August 9th, we're going to be getting a Bixby smart speaker that could cost around $300. Sometimes I just wish that Samsung didn't have all the money in the world. They have a ton of money and they're able to experiment and just work on things, develop things, and release things that nobody's going to buy and it won't ever hurt them. I just wish it did because, my God, nobody wants this. Nobody wants this smart speaker. Okay, so surprise, the next one is also about Samsung. This one specifically about the Galaxy Note 9, as if we needed any more leaks. A Samsung executive was holding the device and someone took a picture of him. This one could have been avoided. Like, I'm convinced that they're just leaking everything on their own. Like, yesterday I showed you a picture of the Galaxy Note 9, the back of the device with a sticker that just said confidential, do not leak info. Like, really? I feel like Samsung just put that sticker on there and was like, yeah, they'll believe it. And now, DJ Ko, literally the head of Samsung's mobile division, was at a special event in China earlier in the week where he talked about fingerprint sensors in Samsung devices, including the Galaxy S10. But someone took a picture of him sitting down with a Note 9. Literally just sitting there holding the phone that is not out yet and was like, oh, no one will know a thing. And when the media reached out to Samsung and was like, hey man, is this the Note 9? You really holding the Note 9? And of course the media reached out to Samsung and was like, hey man, is that the phone that's not out yet? And they didn't even deny it. Samsung did not even deny it. They said it was not an event open to the press and we have no comment on whether it is the real Note 9 phone or not in the photograph. So quite literally, they just said, none of your business, bitch. Jesus. Can we even pretend to be surprised at this point? I mean, for real. They're just going to be like, here's the Note 9. And everyone's going to be like, we know. So last up, if you haven't heard yet, Google was just hit with a $5 billion fine from the EU, and this one is a big deal. So specifically, the fine was 4.34 billion euro. That converts to $5 billion US. And this fine is a result of an antitrust penalty in Europe. This is all really happening because competitors bitched and complained and said, hey, we don't like this thing that Google's doing. You see, Android is free and open sourced. We know that part, but what Google was doing was using contracts that prevented vendors from offering alternatives to what you would consider not Google apps, not native apps that we have on Android devices. For example, manufacturers, Android OEMs, if they wanted to offer the Google Play Store on the devices they were shipping, they had to also give other Google apps prime placement in the device. That includes making the default search engine Google and the default web browser Chrome. And the EU has now decided that this is against their own antitrust laws, that since Android is free, and open sourced, that manufacturers should just be able to do whatever they want with the software. They shouldn't be financially enticed, or at this point what they would consider financially forced, to include the default Google apps on these devices. So at this point, Google now has 90 days to quote-unquote bring its illegal conduct to an end and totally stop the 3 antitrust practices that the commission highlighted, being trying to use Google Search and browser apps, illegal payments from Google Search app exclusively on Android devices, and illegal obstruction of the development and distribution of competing Android-based operating systems. So, where do we go from here? I mean, they've already been hit with that $5 billion fine, and now they have 90 days to comply with this stuff, or else they're going to be hit with more fines. Now, at the time of this recording, Google is appealing this. They're going to fight this, but I don't think they're going to win against the EU right now. And I think after all the fighting and all the back and forth is over, ultimately what we're looking at is this is going to force Google's hand. This is going to force Google to take a much, much deeper control over Android, similar to how Apple has really heavy control over iOS, and Android will no longer be free. I mean, it will be free for us, right? Always, but not for the manufacturers, not for the Android OEMs. They'll now have to license Android. And because of that, they'll have to pay the fee to Google, and Google will have total control over Android at that point, and it won't be so open sourced, which could mean less fragmentation, less bloatware, less ridiculous apps, Samsung, and more stock Android. So who knows? This might be a blessing in disguise. If you're all for the open source thing that Android has going for it, this might be bad news for you, but I don't know. I don't think that Google having a better, more deep control over Android is, or would be, a bad thing.
And now, today's sponsor.
Man, you bought a new phone, huh? Now you gotta transfer all of that data. Normally I would feel bad for you. If Dr. Phone didn't exist, Dr. Phone is a comprehensive mobile phone support platform with built-in support for Android and iPhone. We'd be here all day talking about what Dr. Phone can do for you, but just to name a few, you can transfer data, fix various iOS issues, because we know there's a lot of those, permanently erase your phone, back it up and restore it, remove your phone lock screen, and even root your Android device. And Dr. Phone is easy to use too. With a beautiful user interface, almost everything I just listed can be done with a single button. So if you're ready to put the smart back in smartphone, click the link down in the description to learn more. And of course, a huge thanks to Dr. Phone for supporting this community. And that's the show. Hopefully you liked it, you learned something. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you hate my stupid face, hit the dislike button, and of course subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow, all that stuff. Goodbye.